This video is going to be about our free response corrections, so remember those are due tomorrow, 5-17. I'm not seeing you. You still need to turn them into my desk. There will be a folder for them for each period. Make sure you turn it in. If you do not, at the absolute latest, I will take them if you send a picture of them to me Saturday by midnight. That is it. That is your only chance. That is a cutoff. I am grading those on Sunday and entering them. I will not take them late. That's my spiel. Now, if you are super stuck on this, the key thing with this one is the fact that it's worded kind of poorly. So this per boat thing, ignore that. It's just saying, hey, you're getting a single boat for this much for the week. And so that means if you have more people, it's going to cost less. That's why it's varying inversely. So inversely says y equals an a over x. In this case, our y value is c of x. And we still just have x as a variable, so it's going to be c of x equals a over x instead. So if you are struggling with this one, oftentimes you are able to fill these in, but then putting it into an equation, you are getting stuck on. So c of x here, you're saying, hey, this is $5,250, but in order to find this, what did you do? Did you multiply? Did you divide? Did you add, subtract? What did you do? You should be dividing. So that is how you would write that here. If you're dividing in your calculator, you're going to divide it here. So then use this to fill in your charts if you need to correct them. Next part was the asymptotes, which a lot of you, sometimes you would get one or you would get the other. Remember, there's two. You're saying where x is equal to something and y is equal to something, because this is hyperbolic. We have those two branches. That's our xy coordinates. Our graph is going to look like this. General shape. So, for this one, if I have nothing added here and nothing added out here, there's no plus anything here or here, what is going to happen to the asymptotes? Have they moved at all? Did this graph shift up, down, left, or right? If it did, well, imply that here. If it didn't, make these 0. Make sure you're writing your asymptotes as equations as well. So some people would just be like, oh, add 0. That doesn't work. Or add 250. That doesn't work. You have to write the actual value. Next for D, this one was a little tricky. The key was saying that, hey, 5,250, if I divide that by 2, that gets me to 2,625. Now because I'm doing division, remember that's technically the same thing as multiplication. And what type of transformation is multiplication? That is your key in figuring this out. Then you say by a factor of what? So a little hint for your transformation. Now, what are you multiplying by? Well, if I'm doing division, think that through. You need both of these to get both points. So overall walkthrough here, there are 2 points on the chart, a point on the equation, if I'm remembering correctly, a point for each asymptote, a point for the transformation, and a point for the correct factor. Now, if you need more time on this to go through and actually correct it, go ahead and pause it now, get those corrections in. I'm going to go over the next part. Here, for the basic skill side, calculator inactive, direct variation, inverse, or neither. So the key with this, I'm just going to make a little chart up here. So direct, that's going to be y equals a times x. Inverse, that's y equals a divided by x. And then neither, well, it doesn't look like either of those. So, take a quick look at A. This minus 2, does that fit in to these? If not, tell me why. I spelled neither wrong. No, I didn't. Never mind. It just, yes, I missed an H. I was like, it looked wrong. There we go. Okay. Now, a lot of you miss points for explaining your reasoning, especially on B. So if you just put the answer with no reasoning or with an equation, I didn't give you the points. So you either need to go through and show me an equation or write in words why that is true. So make sure you're solving for that y. So in this case, here we need to divide by that x. What is that equation going to look like? Okay, then it's this type of function. Now, matching each graph with its equation, here, key thing is to look at those asymptotes. So if I see this +4, it's on the outside, so then you're going to say, okay, that is a vertical change, meaning your graph has moved up 4 units. So you're going to look for an asymptote at y equals 4. So on each of these graphs, I would go to 4 and go like, okay, across. Oh, okay, is there an asymptote here? No. Look over here, is there an asymptote at 4? No, but there is at 3. So that one is at 3, or 3, whichever you like. So do that for each one. Remember, if it's down below here, then you have to switch the sign, because it's inside now, my function technically. Horizontal change, so it's actually going left 1 here. With this one, remember, this is our rules. Our vertical asymptote is going to be where the 4x plus 2 equals 0, and then we look at that ratio for our horizontal one. BA over, I think it's AB, C. So that ratio there is going to change our y values. And yeah, that's there. So then for B, it's saying write the domain and range of graph 3. Be really careful, make sure you're looking at graph 3. You need to consider these asymptotes to help determine that domain and range. There are multiple ways I accepted this. You could have said all real numbers except. You could have done intervals, union with something else, or and. So negative infinity, some number, and then out to infinity. Or you could have done the set builder, the set of all x, such that x does not equal blank. Same thing with your range. You just need to go through and say, hey, where is that asymptote here? That's going to change my range here, because I cannot have a y value here. Oh, what is my vertical asymptote? Okay, that's going to change my domain, because I can't have this x value here. So you can do it in any of these forms. For C, most common mistake, also look at graph 2, but most common mistake was just putting a value. You just wrote like A, or you just wrote B, whatever values those might be. You need to make sure you're writing it as an equation. A vertical line, is that going to be x or y? Same thing with your horizontal, x or y. You need to decide that, and then set that equal to your A or B value that you found. Same thing with this one, you're just looking for that line where it can't cross. If it helps, always draw it in. So like here, I would draw in my asymptote, okay, well it's probably about here, and this one, oh, it's probably about here. And if it helps, you can say, okay, think about some of the points on this line. Oh, well, this would be at a negative 1/2, 8. This point down here would be at a negative 1/2, 0. This point way down here, negative 1/2, negative 8. What is staying constant? Your x value. Do that for your horizontal as well. That's going to help you figure out those asymptotes. Oops, down here, this one. That is it for this video. Make sure you get your corrections done. That's going to help your grade a lot. Get it done. Do the things. We still have classes. Blah! Okay, that's all.